If you believe in forces beyond the physical, forces that can manifest true love and bring together those who are meant to be, keep watching. Because just a few months ago, I discovered a powerful love enchantment spell. One that makes a man realize you are the only one for him. And once it's cast, he'll be filled with irresistible desire for you. As it finally clicks for him, you and him are meant to be, and he will soon rush to be with you, texting you every hour you're not together, showering you with love, attention, and gifts, because he's convinced being with you brings him the ultimate happiness in life.
Hey, it's Rachel here.
And if you're skeptical, I would be too. And yet,
Before I launched this short little video, I had personally been accosted by hundreds of women and men to show them what I'm about to reveal to you in the next 3 minutes.
and you'll meet some of them in just a moment. But before,
So you may be wondering, who am I and why should you believe me? If you had told me 5 years ago that I would be here today showing people how to attract love and connection into their lives, I would have laughed in disbelief. My life back then was a swirling vortex of despair, loneliness, and hopelessness. And the idea of being a source of guidance for others who want to attract their soulmate or repair a broken romantic relationship would have seemed utterly absurd. But maybe that's what makes my story so interesting and relatable for so many people.
the story about the powerful love spell that makes you his only option, because anything else wouldn't make sense. And by the end, you'll have the chance to cast this spell on any man of your choosing. But first, a warning. This spell is very powerful, and in the wrong hands, it could be downright dangerous. Because once the spell is cast, it's permanent. He will be yours forever, wrapped around your finger, showering you in love, attention, and gifts every time you're together, and reminding you how much he cares, even when you're apart. So I trust you'll use this spell for the right reasons. If you understand this, keep watching and uncover the ancient love enchantment spell that makes him choose you. My name is Rachel Fields, and I'm a little embarrassed to share this story. But for the past few weeks, we'd been miles apart emotionally, and it felt like we were growing more distant every passing day.
His name was Tom.
And things between us started off with fireworks. He caught me staring at him from afar at his favorite wine bar, and as he approached me, butterflies filled my stomach.
He was tall and broad, with dark hair and chiseled good looks.
And just the sound of his voice made my heart melt. My friends warned me that he was trouble from the get-go. They warned me not to get too involved, but I ignored them and went all the way. The first weeks with Tom flew by, like a whirlwind of love, romance, and passion. We connected on a mental, spiritual, and physical level. It was something out of a movie. There were sparks every time we touched. He was the kind of guy who made me feel safe and just like me for being me. He showered me with attention that made me feel wanted, texted me every hour, and went out of his way to make me smile. I felt really lucky. Just the way he looked at me made me certain we were meant to be together. Then it happened again, just like it did with every other relationship. I felt the shift, him pulling away. As his hourly texts turned into a few times a day texts, his begging to see me turned into, I'm busy. And before I knew it, the distance between us became as wide as the ocean horizon, as his once loving gaze turned into an empty and cold stare, and before I could even try to make things right, my boss sent me on a last-minute work trip. I was headed halfway across the world to Cheia, Romania. It was a quaint little town, one that'd be perfect for finding some clarity, but instead, I was bracing myself for the worst. The first night I arrived, I went to a local bar. As I sat there ordering drink after drink, The bartender and I started chatting. At first, it was just small talk, but eventually, I brought up Tom. I talked about how we had so much chemistry and how I thought we were meant to be. He just didn't know it yet. The bartender nodded and smiled as I told my story. Then he told me about the woman who would turn my world upside down. It was a local lady, famous as the Gypsy Witch, an older woman who lived close to the forest. Everyone in the area knew about her. Her name was Lady Zorina. Lady Zorina came from a family who for generations practiced magic, the dark art of controlling and influencing people through spells and curses. They were infamous and feared by many for their powers and wickedness. But while her sisters were power hungry and malicious, using darker and darker rituals, Lady Zarina had specialized in red magic. Magic to bring love, romance, and passion. No wonder she drifted further and further from her sisters. As she wanted to strengthen her powers of love and romance, one night things came to a head when she found her sisters sacrificing an animal for their dark practices. Shrouded by the night, Lady Zarina fled, and for the past 30 years, she lived in the very village I found myself in, helping seekers find real love, experience true commitment, and find their happily ever afters against all odds. The bartender figured I might want to pay her a visit. Normally, I would say no. This seemed a little far out there for me, and to be honest, even if it worked, I wasn't sure it would be the right thing to do. But at this point, I was running out of options. So I asked the bartender for directions to her place and made plans to go the next day. I didn't know it back then, but that would be the day that my love life changed forever. The walk to Lady Zarina's small house wasn't far, but my mind raced the whole way there. And when I arrived, it felt like I entered a different world. Her cabin was built out of dark weathered wood. The roof was thatched, giving off a deep, earthy smell, and the door was covered in strange carvings. It looked like something out of a fairy tale. I couldn't believe what I was doing, but then I took a deep breath and knocked. After a few seconds, the door swung open. It was her. She was of an otherworldly beauty that made it impossible to tell how old she was. But by the wisdom and experience in her eyes, it was clear that she wasn't as young as she looked. "I've been expecting you," she said warmly. "I could sense your heartache the moment you arrived in our town. My name is Lady Zarina, but I'm sure you knew that by now. Tell me, what brings you to me?" I took a deep breath, and with nothing to lose, I told her everything. I told her about how I knew Tom was my soulmate, but we'd grown distant for some reason. I told her how scared, frustrated, and powerless I felt, how betrayed, how pained, and how angry I was. And I told her that I was running out of options. "You came to the right place," she replied with a comforting smile. From a young age, I've been fascinated with the power of romance. And in studying the arcane arts of love, I've learned that there's a difference between the fleeting, easily broken kind of love and the till death do us apart kind of love. The kind of love where he wants you forever, even when you're not together. So, with your permission, I'd like to cast a spell that makes him devoted to you, one which will take your casual connection and turn it into forever love, a mutual obsession, like something from a movie. This requires powerful red magic, but it's no ordinary love spell, because this spell triggers his devotion instead of fleeting love. And once it's cast, he'll quickly realize he's made for you, and all the feelings that are obvious to you will become obvious to him. And in his heart of hearts, he will know that no other woman can bring him the kind of happiness you can. And when he knows this, he will be eager to commit to you and treat you like the treasure he's been searching for his entire life. But I must warn you, once the spell is cast, it is permanent. So, my dear, are you ready for true love? A lasting emotional connection? I took a deep breath in, not believing what I was about to do, and gave my answer. Yes. Lady Zarina nodded and asked me to wait. For a couple of minutes, she disappeared into another room. When she came back, she asked me to give her my hand. I was afraid, but did as she said. She pulled out one of the most beautiful pendants I had ever seen and gave it to me. It had what looked like 4 different beautiful crystals inside. It was gleaming even in her dim lit cabin. Tomorrow is full moon, she told me. Wear this pendant in the evening. I will cast a spell for you that night. It all sounded weird, and I was full of doubt. But the pendant was beautiful, and even if there was a small chance it would work, it'd be worth it. Before I left her cabin, she asked me to return 3 days later. The next day, I wore her pendant in the evening. I couldn't sleep all night as I waited for some sign the spell was working, but the night went by and there was nothing. The new day broke, and my hopes were still high. But all throughout the day, everything was still the same. I started to worry the red magic had failed, or that she had simply forgotten about me. But just as I was crawling into bed that night, I heard my phone buzz. It was a text from him. I know I've been weird the past few weeks, but since you've been gone, I've been thinking, you're the only one for me. Let me make everything up to you when you get back. I almost fell out of my bed. I couldn't believe it. Had it worked? I was so excited I could hardly sleep. Still, the next day, I was up early, racing to Lady Zorina's cabin. Just as I was about to knock, the door swung open. She had been expecting me. Her eyes told me she already knew everything. So the only thing I said was how. Look at your pendant, she told me. It contains 4 gemstones I activated with my spell. The first is rose quartz, which many call love quartz. For centuries, it has been used for bonding with the soulmate who truly deserves you. Yes, it isn't about creating this connection with just anyone. It's far more purposeful and powerful. It has to be the person who aligns with your deepest desires and who's destined to form a bond with you which lasts a lifetime. And your feelings are always right there. And the love quartz connects with the energies of your chosen one. They feel an irresistible pull towards you. And here's why. Like opposing poles of a magnet, the love quartz resonates with an enchanting magnetic force. It does so by connecting with and channeling your feelings for that person because it resonates on the same frequency as love and compassion. Which is why it's easy to connect with your chosen one when you wear love quartz anywhere on your body. In other words, your desire to experience deep mutual love and connection is amplified by wearing the love quartz. Your pendant also contains black tourmaline crystals. Black tourmaline has powerful cleansing capabilities, which remove negative energies and past hurts, including not just from relationships, but even from childhood. And with these energies cleansed from your aura, the toxic circle of unhealthy relationships is broken. In other words, your energy is no longer pushing away the ones you love most. I noticed another pink crystal in the pendant, and Lady Zarina told me it was pink tourmaline. Sometimes you are trapped in what appears to be a relationship or marriage which has lost its vibrant essence. Lovers have turned into strangers, and the flickering flames of passion have become a mere whisper of forgotten times. In cases like these, pink tourmaline links the earthy vibrations with the celestial realm, bringing a sense of balance between the divine masculine and feminine energies, and in the process, releasing past wounds, fears, and limitations. Removing these blocks and reuniting the spirits, breathing new life into every facet of the sacred bond, resurrecting blazing fervor within any union. The last crystal it contained was amethyst. When I touched the pendant, I instantly felt a sense of calm. That was the energy of amethyst, because it awakens the hidden parts of your divine essence, thus showing you your true inner worth and opening up your heart to rediscover true love. Naturally, you feel a sense of strength, courage, and will that will not go unnoticed. Those who once ignored you now feel drawn to you in ways they can't explain, being spellbound by your inner beauty, power, and radiance, begging you for a chance to be part of your life again, up to the point where they stumble over their words in a desperate effort to impress you and gain your interest. Now, it all made sense. And Ladies Arena assured me that the effect would be even more powerful. Once I wore the pendant while meeting Tom, I couldn't wait to get home. Ladies Arena's face lit up with a smile when she saw me like this, just to turn into a frown. Seconds later, as she confided in me, "My dear, ever since I left my past behind, I've been lonely. The only thing that gives me joy is helping people like you, helping them find fulfillment and experience true love. Sadly, women like you don't come around often. Is there anything you can do to spread the word about me?" A light bulb went off in my head. I had some friends with some tech knowledge, and I could share my story on a website where we could offer Ladies Arena's help to people around the world, so they could get the relationships they desire and deserve too. Ladies Arena's eyes lit up with hope. "My dear, ever since I left my coven, it's been my goal to help 2,222 women find true love. You're giving me a chance to do that. So now it's your turn. Now you can have Lady Zorina cast a powerful love spell on him. The one you're meant to be with. The one who doesn't know it yet. It doesn't matter if he's pulling away. It doesn't matter if he's in the arms of another woman. It doesn't even matter if he hasn't seen you in years. Because Lady Zarina's love spell together with the pendant align his energies with the natural flow of love and attraction, which will make the feelings that are obvious to you obvious to him. And when he feels these feelings, he will be ready to commit. Because it just wouldn't make sense for him to be with anyone but you. And as for how much this spell will cost, you're in for a pleasant surprise, because it won't cost anything, but it will help you gain the unconditional love of any man. Ladies Arena's goal is not to benefit financially. Her only goal is to help 2,222 women find true love and real commitment. She never asks for any fee for the people she casts spells for, so she even wanted to give these pendants away for free. But I had to remind her. We needed to ship them to America, store them somewhere, ship them to the customer, plus pay for the upkeep of a website. So we agreed on an affordable number that just about covers these costs. This way, even women who are not well off financially, no matter if they're single mothers, between jobs, or just being affected by the difficult economic situation, can experience the joy of having that special someone wrap them up in their arms and whisper, "I love you." So, for just $47 today, you can receive your powerful love pendant to be with the man you're meant to be with, and spend the rest of your life with him if that is your wish. So few women ever get to experience a connection like this. But this is not available to every woman because this spell is powerful and permanent. So it's only available to women who agree to the following conditions. You need to wear the pendant or have it close to you. You need to keep the spell a secret, not to break it. You need to understand that once the spell is cast, there's no going back. If you agree to these conditions and need more love in your life, click the Get My Love Pendant button below. From there, you'll be taken to a 100% secure order form, which keeps your information safe and confidential. And once you've filled in your details so I know where to send your pendant, you'll be taken to a short quiz. This will help Ladies Arena cast with as much power and precision as possible. Once you complete all of that, you will receive video proof of how Ladies Arena casts your spell within 48 hours. And your love pendant will reach you within the next 3 to 5 days, and in just a week from now. You'll look back on this moment and smile, because this was the moment your love life changed forever. The day you gained control, the day he finally realized you are meant to be. Click the button below to get your love pendant. Still here? You probably have some questions, and that's perfectly normal. Here are answers to some of the most frequent ones people ask me. What makes Ladies Arena's love magic different? Most love spells force a man to fall in love, but you and I both know you can't force love. Ladies Arena's magic is much more powerful because instead of forcing him to fall in love, she simply aligns his energies with the natural flow of love and attraction. From there, he'll choose you. He'll surrender his heart, and he will devote himself to you for as long as you please. How quickly does it work? Some women see results the same day they receive their love pendants. Others wait slightly longer. The answer is, it depends on your circumstances. But no matter what, love will find you sooner than later. How much is it? Originally, Ladies Arena wanted to offer her love pendants for free. But we need to pay for the shipping from Romania to the United States, pay for the storage, pay for the shipping to you, and pay for the upkeep of this website. So we agreed on an amount that covers these costs. It's just $47 for the first 2,222 women who request their love pendant. What do I need to do? Simply tap the Get My Pendant button below. Then you'll be taken to a 100% secure order form to tell me where to send your pendant. Once I receive your order, you'll answer a short quiz to help Ladies Arena cast her spell for your man. You will receive video proof of Ladies Arena casting her spell within 48 hours, and it will take around 3 to 5 days until your pendant arrives. That's all. So go ahead now and get your love pendant by clicking the button below.